I kept saying that I was going to keep trying to do videos while I was at college, so this is me trying to do another video while I'm at college. Thank you so much for watching all of the videos that we've been making. It's kind of really ridiculous to me that people actually care about watching these, but I couldn't love it more, so thank you. A lot of people have been asking in the comments for me to give my thoughts on things that are going to be happening in the next episode. Mostly my emotion is I'm worried. I'm very worried. I'm worried about Isaac, I'm worried about Allison, I'm worried about Scott, I'm super worried about Kira and Lydia and everyone, but as you might have guessed, there is one person that I am particularly worried about, and that person is Mr. Stiles Stilinski. I love Stiles, and I'm pretty sure that if you know me at all, you already know that that's true. But it's not just because I think Dylan O'Brien is a life-ruining cutie pie, which he is. While I'm on the subject, piano? Really? Really? Really needed another reason to just find you so ridiculously talented you need to tell us all that you play piano? Really? Oh. I mean, I obviously don't want you to stop doing what you're doing because it's amazing and you're amazing, and that sounds really creepy. I'm gonna stop that. Oh shit. I mean, obviously I don't want you to stop being the amazingly talented person that you are. I just hope that you know that you make it a lot harder for girls like me to continue in their day-to-day lives. So just keep that in mind and continue doing all the amazing things that you're doing. But no, it's not just that I love Dylan O'Brien or that I think Dylan O'Brien is attractive. No, it's because I have felt a deep connection with Stiles ever since the profoundly sarcastic words, "No, a body of water," left his mouth in the first episode. And it's a very complicated relationship. It's, if I was any character on Teen Wolf, I would want to be Stiles. If I got to be on Teen Wolf, I would want my character to date Stiles. If I was the child of any Teen Wolf ship, I would be the daughter of Stiles and Cora. So it's any sort of relationship that I possibly could have with Stiles is the kind of relationship that I want with Stiles. So I just feel very connected to him in a lot of different really weird ways, and he's very important to me. And I know that a lot of different people feel that way because Stiles is very important for the audience. Because Stiles is the only normal human being on the show that knows about werewolves. And I know that Allison knows about werewolves, but Allison has a level of training and a history that Stiles doesn't have. So as far as audience members, Stiles is our entryway into the show. We connect with Stiles, we feel what Stiles feels, and we just have to hope that if we ever got thrown into a situation like that, we would handle it half as well as he does. That being said, we don't like seeing Stiles in pain. Seeing him get tortured with all of this, not knowing if he's asleep, not knowing if he's awake, not being able to read, is just pure agony for Stiles and for the viewers. We connect with him on a level where we can identify with him having a sort of inferiority complex because he's the only human surrounded by all of these super-powered, talented werewolves. And on some level I think a lot of us connect with him because he is exceptionally inexperienced when it comes to romance. But as we all know, that is changing, and that is why I've been getting a lot of questions asking how I personally am dealing with the way it seems like Stiles' story arc is going to be handled this season. And I feel about Stiles' romantic story arc the way I feel about everything else. I'm worried. It's not because I am being possessive. I try with everything I am not to be one of those people that's like, oh well, I love Stiles, therefore I don't want Stiles to be with anyone. Obviously the chances of me getting on the show are slimmer than a slim slice of a Slim Jim cut in half to infinity until there's just an atom left and then we split the atom, and that's about my chance of getting on the show. I would love to be on the show, but since that isn't gonna happen, I don't see any productiveness in being like, well, if Stiles isn't gonna date me, then I don't want him having anyone. I obviously want Stiles to be happy. I want to see him in a relationship. I want Dylan O'Brien to get the chance to do more kissing and stuff on the show, because who doesn't want to see Dylan O'Brien kissing people? That's just fun for the whole family. Maybe not the whole family, maybe just me. So it's not so much that as it is, what I'm worried about is that we're 3 episodes in and we still haven't met the girl that Stiles is kissing next episode. Dylan said something at New York City Comic Con, which I got to attend, as anyone who's been watching the channel long enough knows. It was great. I got to talk to Adelaide, and I made an idiot out of myself, but it was awesome. He said something along the lines of, if Stiles got a girlfriend, he feels like she would have to come from outside the show. And I personally totally agree with that. I know that there are people who ship Steric, there are people who ship Stydia, there are people who ship Skittles or Stalison, and that's fine. Personally, the only ship that comes from purely the show that I really want is for Adelaide Kane to come back, because Stora was so great. We could have had it all, but Reign's happening, so I'm not gonna go on that tangent about how much I love them, and if you guys want to see me freak out about Stora, then you let me know, and I will make a 20-minute video of me crying over Adelaide Kane and Dylan O'Brien. I don't think any of you want to see me crying for 20 minutes. Actually, you already all tune in to watch me cry for 20 minutes, so maybe you do. I don't know what you want. You guys have to tell me what you want. But I am totally okay with the idea of a character being introduced for Stiles to date. I'm okay with that. But as anyone who knows me at all, really, knows, I'm a proponent of what people like to call the slow burn. You know, coming in and agonizing, watching two people becoming friends, watching that friendship turn into a romance, and then watching that romance come to fruition. And there's nothing more exciting than that for me. Unfortunately, as we've seen, that doesn't seem to be where Teen Wolf is taking it. We don't know the girl that Stiles is kissing in the next episode, and that kind of bothers me if that's going to become a persistent relationship. And we know that that's not the only kiss that Stiles gets this season, because there's a clip of another one, which was in the Series 3B preview. And kissing is fine. I'm not totally comfortable with it, but, you know, that's great. What I am worried about is the hints that we've been getting from the Teen Wolf cast that Stiles may or may not be losing his virginity this season. There was a quote from Jeff Davies somewhere that said that the answer of Stiles' virginity gets answered this season, which we already know he's a virgin, so I don't know what questions we're having, except maybe, when is he not gonna be? And then also, there was, at New York City Comic Con, a moment that said, Stiles is losing a certain status this season, at which everyone burst into a bunch of giggles. So I'm kind of assuming that that hints at Stiles losing his virginity, and personally, that freaks me out. Not that I'm not okay with Stiles having sex, because obviously Stiles wants to have sex and I want Stiles to be happy. So that's fun. The fact that we're 3 episodes into the season and still haven't met anyone that Stiles could be having a relationship with, and they're hinting that before this season is up, he's not going to be a virgin, that's something that I'm not feeling entirely okay with right now. The way that Stiles was described through his relationship with Lydia, or the lack of his relationship with Lydia. You know, he went for so many years having a crush on her and just being completely devoted to her, being completely devoted to the idea of being with her. And I think that, yes, in a way, Stiles has kind of grown out with that, maybe to the point that he can be really close friends with Lydia without putting her up on this pedestal and being able to look past all of her flaws. I personally don't really want him to be in a romantic relationship with Lydia. I feel that we should kind of like, I want to see them like being buddies and like with the detective business, and I think that's awesome. I don't really want to push it into a romantic sort of relationship. There was a point where I would have been okay with that happening, but now that the series has progressed thus far, I'm kind of over it in a way, personally. So I think that he has sort of grown out of that more idealistic view of people. But I do think that Stiles is in very much a way a one-woman sort of man. So maybe he is over Lydia, but I don't know how I feel about him picking up on someone so quickly that it's a kiss and him losing his virginity within the next 9 episodes. While I personally think that he's over Lydia in a way, it's gonna take time for him to get into something like that again. And I know that he obviously is a horny teenage boy who wants to have sex, but I still feel like he can hold himself to a standard that is, yes, he wants to have someone that he can have sex with, but not to the point that he's just going to do it for the hell of it. And I know in a way this kind of brings up the idea of Heather, where the first time we saw them interact, she kissed him, and then he was okay with having sex with her, and That's not what I'm talking about. I'm okay with that because Stiles and Heather had history. They had grown up together, and yes, that's a situation where he knew her, he loved her in a way that maybe wasn't, I want to be with you for the rest of my life, but it was a very strong sort of relationship where I think that could have worked out. And if Heather hadn't been sacrificed, I would have been okay with them getting together. Honestly, that was cute. But the fact that we still don't know who that person is, I keep saying that it's freaking me out, but it's freaking me out. I am trying to just keep myself calm, even if Jeff does like to torture the characters and make them sad in an effort to make us sad. I have to hope that he's going to do it in such a way to give them justice. So hopefully he knows what he's doing with Stiles, and good luck to the girl that they do plan on putting Stiles with. I hope that she is as nice as he is, as smart as he is, and as wonderful a person as Stiles deserves. Ultimately, the idea is for Stiles to be happy. Whether that happens in the way I want it to or not, we'll just have to see. So that's my feelings on Stiles. If you guys have your feelings about Stiles, feel free to leave them in the comments. Feel free to make a response video. Feel free to just yell at your computer because you think everything that I just said was wrong. Anyway, thank you for watching the video. I guess I'll see you Monday. I was gonna end that better than I did.